From Field Pass Hockey Southern Command, this is the Inside the SPHL podcast. Here is your host, James Hayes.
Welcome to this week's episode of Inside the SPHL. I wasn't staying away from you guys too long this time. I was able to capture a pretty awesome guest to bring to you guys this week. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm not going to sit here and talk too much. So my guest this week, he's been in professional hockey in one way or another since 2007 when he got his start back with the Bloomington Prairie Thunder, and he's played in the IHL, CHL, FPHL, SPHL, and ECHL. Most recently, he coached the Watertown Wolves to a championship in the Federal Hockey League. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me introduce you to the new head coach of the Knoxville Ice Bears, Brent Clarke.
Hey,
Coach,
how you doing?
welcome to the show. So, thanks for joining us. I'm sure a lot of Knoxville fans are going to look forward to hear you. I know you've done a bunch of interviews, so I appreciate you taking a little bit of time here today with me. So,
absolutely, no problem.
How you getting in there in Knoxville? First off, is everything kind of you settling in, or is it just go right now?
Yeah, I mean, my phone's been blowing up for sure, and just kind of, I already been here before a couple of years ago, so I kind of know what to expect coming in. But yeah, no, I'm just getting my mindset around being head coach now, and just seeing what we have returning players and what players are going to different camps, and just trying to assemble a hockey team here for October 21st.
Yeah, and it's coming up way too fast, right? Do you feel like you're running out of time?
Yeah, always need more time, but yeah, no, I think we're going to be more than ready to go.
Before you came on, were you already planning for the season for Watertown, or were you kind of planning on moving up somewhere with all the vacancies?
Honestly, to be frank here, is I was recruiting for Watertown. Everything was Watertown 100%, and this just came up last minute, and took an interview, and it's just worked out.
Yeah, well, good deal. You've kind of been in and out of coaching and around. You've played a little bit in the past few years, but you've been coaching since you coached Watertown once before and won a championship back in 14-15. Am I right? Is that what
Correct.
And so Knoxville fans, you guys should be pumped because this guy has a championship pedigree, and so I mean, was that your first year coaching too?
My first year in 2014-15, yes.
Yeah, so I mean that's pretty awesome. So from there, you kind of moved around a little bit. You went to Danville and everything, and then let's talk more. We won't talk too much about all those teams. Most of my listeners, I assume, want to hear about SPHL stuff. So you were an assistant coach to Coach Carr in the 2021 season, and were you able to learn a lot from him during that time frame? I mean, he'd been there for 5 years. It seemed like everything he did was successful, much like yourself. So, I mean, were you able to learn a lot and kind of understand I guess the leagues, they're similar, but they're different, right?
No, absolutely. I was fortunate. He gave me a chance, brought me in, and, we'd only talked on the phone for a couple of years there, sending players back and forth, and I just knew the voice, both of us, and gave me an opportunity to come in and give me an assistant start, and grateful for that. And I absolutely learned a lot. Some things I did take with me when I did go back to Watertown. And I think that's some of the things I did learn with what I already knew, kind of nice combo, and helped us win a championship.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of give, if you can, what's your coaching style? What should Knoxville fans look forward to? Is it going to be similar to what we've seen the past few years with the Ice Bears, or are you going to bring a little different touch to the game?
I mean, I think every coach wants to come in and kind of put their own spin on things, and not that anything was broken before or trying to fix anything or recreate the wheel, but yeah, no, I just want to come in and do a good job, bring in some good talent, and have a tough team. And when the bus rolls into Knoxville, they got to get off and say, "Oh man, I don't want to play these guys."
Yeah, that's always good. That's a good feeling. I know there's been some teams in the past like that. Is that kind of how it was in Watertown last year? I mean, you guys were kind of tearing it up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, teams came in and obviously they're doing their thing and getting ready, but I mean, we had a good squad, and I think teams might not want to play us every night. So
yeah. So one other question I got. So when you got the call to take this job, and now you have kind of a shortened window, I know this has happened the last couple of years. It seems like it's happened in the SPHL. The window kind of shortens because coaches are always trying to move up, right? I'm not taking anything away from coach from the previous coach there, but does it kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of put the extra pressure on you to try to hurry up and get up to speed, or are you just kind of rolling into it, relaxed, knowing you know what to do?
Well, the thing is, too, is as I said, Coach Carr and I are very close, and we talk probably 2-3 times a day leading up, and before either one of us knew we were moving on. And I kind of, he had a few players come from Watertown. I had a 150 goal scorer, 48, and another player that he had signed for camp, and basically, we always talk players back and forth with each other, and so I knew what was going to be there in Knoxville, and what openings were, where pieces needed to be filled. And so I kind of already had the gist of it, and that kind of helps too. So
I got you. So I know you got a lot of plans going on tonight. I don't want to take up too terribly much of your time. One more question I have for you is I want to talk about whenever you played in the SPHL, when you spent some time with Pensacola. And I had it written down somewhere. Let me look real quick. So that was back in 2012, 2013 during that year. And I'm sure the league, the players, everything's kind of changed, but the difference between playing in the SPHL back then and you had played in, like I said, when I did the intro, you played in a lot of leagues, the caliber of play in the SPHL, how would you compare that to the IHL, CHL, these other leagues you were playing around the time? A lot of those leagues don't even exist anymore, but was it a lot of people, my point is a lot of people trash on the FPHL and the SPHL, and they act like it's not good quality hockey. And I'm just trying to get you to tell me that it is. That's my point. So the quality of play, I mean, what was that like?
Yeah, like the quality played, like in the FHL you were saying there.
In the IHL and everything. I mean, when it
IHL,
came to the SPHL,
yeah, like just as, some people do, talk about the Federal Hockey League, but I mean, it's a single A level, just like the SP. I mean, the SP is obviously a move up, I guess, but
A plus,
but the Federal Hockey League has come a long way, and the SPHL had several players throughout the league last year with everything, leading up from COVID and stuff like that. The leagues, the kids got extra years of school, so they weren't coming out like normal, and they had to take a lot of the FHL players. And I mean, if you look around the league at some of the players that are now fan favorites in the SP, they came from the Federal League, so they had to get a shot somewhere. Same with myself as a coach. Yeah, I've coached in the FHL, and maybe some teams might not have wanted to bring me in as a head coach, but you got to get your start somewhere. And if you can be successful at that level and move up and do the same thing, it would be huge. But yeah, playing the IHL my first couple of years, I mean, that level there was basically the same as the ECHL. I thought some could be better because there was a lot of guys that were playing the NHL, American League, that kind of put themselves aged out. And now all of a sudden, you're playing in, like I had Don Parsons, like who was a heck of a player, I mean, look how many goals and points he scored in American League and all that stuff. And I mean, he's playing with me in my first year. I mean, like how the league has to be good, stuff like that. I mean, my player assistant coach that year played in the NHL, and like the coach there then, Derek Booth, like brought in a lot of these ex-players. So if you look around the league in the IHL, I mean, you're playing against ex-NHLers. I mean, I know when I went to Flint, I got to play with Brian Smolinski. He was basically still just retiring from the Montreal Canadiens. Like, I mean, and then on my left wing, I had Pascal Rion. Like, he won a Stanley Cup. So the league is good. And then, I mean, then you fast forward, you go to the SP, and I mean, to be honest with you, the hockey's just as good. And the same with the ECHL. Yeah, there might be some more bells and whistles with certain things, but I mean, for the most part, it's all good level hockey.
Yeah. See, that's what I needed. You did get really good. You explained it way better than I ever could. So perfect. Well, like I said, I appreciate you taking your time. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Maybe I can bring you back on later down in the year. We could spend a little more time chatting. Maybe we can do a mid-season report card on here for you.
There you go.
But no, like I said, I really appreciate it. It's been great, and best of luck to you and the whole Ice Bears team this year. And I'm looking forward to seeing some great things.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, there you have it. The new head coach of the Knoxville Ice Bears, Brent Clarke. I really appreciated him coming on. It's gonna be a fun season. We got a lot of new coaches in the league, and it's gonna be fun to see what these new coaches can do with these teams. As we all know, Knoxville's a solid team, and they've been great the last couple of years. So it's not like he's taken the keys to an old Chevette out in the junkyard. He's taken the keys to a well-tuned Porsche, I'd like to say. But yeah, so like I said, you guys let me know. Leave comments. If you're watching on YouTube, leave comments. Tell me what do you think? What do you expect for the next Knoxville Ice Bears this season? If you're reading it off of anywhere that I post this on the socials, drop me a comment in the post and tell me where do you guys think the Ice Bears are gonna, or what do you think the Ice Bears are going to look like this season? How do you think they're going to do? I mean, last year they were, the regular season champs, and fell to the Rail Yard Dogs in the first round, but you can't take away what they did in the regular season. That was a phenomenal team, and they're starting to sign. They're bringing back a lot of guys. I seen Wasman Ingback's coming back. They're bringing a lot of the guys from the previous season back, and they're going to see if they can run it back, and then they're going to see some new faces there too. But yeah, and I'm working my best to get all the new coaches to come on. I've never had a coach on before, so I was happy to be able to bring a coach on. I know I've always brought players on, and the commissioner, of course. And so that's nice to bring a coach on. Kind of gives you a little different perspective. We couldn't spend too much time with Coach Clarke there. He has some other arrangements that he's doing with the Ice Bears after we record this. And so I was he was just kind enough to drop in real quick and do this for us. So like I said, maybe we'll be able to bring him on a little later, but moving on to around the league, last time I talked to you guys, there was two vacancies left because TJ Sarcona got signed on as the head coach in Vermilion County. And then the Ice Bears shortly thereafter brought on Brent Clarke. And then shortly thereafter, the Macon Mayhem found their coach in Nick Niedert. So that's no more coaching vacancies left in the league. And Niedert is, as a lot of he was the head coach last year of the Bobcats, and left the team towards the end of the season. Not sure what was going on there. I just know, I think he may have had personal issues. I'm not for sure. I'm not even going to speculate, not going to lie, not even going to guess. I just know he wasn't there for, I think it was the last weekend, maybe the last 2 weekends, but he is back, and he's going to be the coach of the Mayhem and looking to turn the Mayhem around. As we know, the Mayhem, the Bulls, and the Bobcats were the bottom three last year, and there was a lot of separation really between the bottom three and the top teams. I know for a while it was looking like Birmingham was going to be able to catch somebody and maybe steal that playoff spot, but essentially Roanoke or Evansville would have had to lose almost every game in the last 5 weeks, I think. I don't know. I'm lying. If you want to know the truth, go back and watch one of those podcasts from last season, because I did all the figuring and numbers and way too much stuff that you guys, I hope you appreciated it, but I didn't appreciate looking it up. But I'll do it again this year. Why not? It was that's what we're here for. We're here to give you guys the news. Other than that, we got all of our head coaches, like I said. Macon's starting to show some player signings out. They got Caleb Cameron's coming back for you Macon fans. I know he's a big fan favorite, been there for a while. David Nippard, Bulls fans will know that name. He's going back there. I just seen another one today. I think it was Kyle Super. I don't know. I might be lying to you. Heck, this isn't ESPN. I can look at my phone right now and probably tell you. So I can cheat. But yeah, Kyle Super re-signed in Macon. So that was another one. And then, like I said, Wax and Ingback, Kyler Matthews, those guys are coming back to Knoxville. These are just some signings in the last couple of days. As you can see, the rosters are starting to fill up. We're starting to see a lot of names. There's some teams that haven't released any names, but I don't want any of you to think that means that there's not players being signed. If you listen, if you're a Knoxville fan, or even if you're not, the Knoxville Ice Bears podcast with Joel Silverberg, it usually drops. He's dropped a couple in the past few weeks, and he was kind of explaining how their process goes, and they've had players signed for a while, and they're just trying to spread it out throughout the offseason, releasing player names once a Monday. But he also said that this last time that, they're going to have to drop a few more because names are filling up quickly. So players have been signed. Teams just aren't releasing them all right now because you don't have to release all the names right now. You just have to have your roster by the time the season starts, right? I think that's the way it works. And it keeps you guys engaged, keeps everybody entertained and interested, as the player announcements come slowly. I know some teams are getting ready to kick off some free agent camps, and that's pretty cool. I went to Birmingham's free agent camp last year, and I mean, it's good hockey. It's fun to watch, if you guys get a chance. And usually they're on a Friday or Saturday for most teams. And you go out there and you can just kind of watch how the process is. And who knows, you might end up seeing a player that's going to get signed and move on. I know there was don't make me lie to you here, but a few years back, I think it was the year the Bulls went to the finals. They brought a dude in for, I think it was Garrett Schmitz. Man, I don't know though. I'm supposed to know, right? Because I'm the guy that writes for the Bulls. But anyways, they brought him in at free agent camp, and he has pretty much just moved himself well out of free agent camps, and he's been a staple in the ECHL these past few years. So, I mean, you never know what you're going to find. It's always cool, to see these guys just trying to find their way and get in, and that's really it. That's all I got to say about that. I was trying to come up with more. I'm trying to talk a lot, but there's not a lot to talk about. But let's kind of take a look back at let me get my page open here. So let's look at some of the news that's kind of been going through the SPHL. I didn't really do that last week, but there's a few things, the rail. Why can't I ever get that one out? The Rail Yard Dogs have they've extended their lease with the Berglund Center. So all the rumors you always hear, we always hear rumors every year on Facebook, and there's always somebody spreading rumors around Facebook and Twitter about teams that are going away. Well, you can kind of just be safe to assume that the Dogs aren't going anywhere because they've extended their lease. But yeah, it always kind of cracks me up whenever you see all these rumors going around about this, that, and the other thing going on. And really there's just, I don't know where people go. SPHL teams are really good at keeping things quiet. Trust me, I try to get all this information out of all kinds of teams, and they're really good at keeping things quiet. It's not like we're dealing, and I mean, I'm not saying NHL teams aren't, but you don't have insiders really. You don't have people that are feeding you information on the inside. And I mean, maybe some people might, but I mean, if they are, I haven't seen a rumor really come true yet from everything, especially this off season. I seen one Twitter post. I don't even remember who it was, but speculating on who all these coaches were going to be. And they were all pretty much completely wrong. I don't know where they get this information, but just trust me. Whenever I post something, it's going to be factual because it was probably already released, because I don't like to get into the speculating game and all that. I basically like to just bring people to you guys is what I really like to do. I don't even like talking. I like other people talking, and to you players, coaches, commissioners, because nobody wants to hear me talk. And you guys probably don't even want to look at me on YouTube, and you're probably disappointed my interview was really short, but hey, it is what it is. You got to deal with it once in a while. This is what we do. I might not have a podcast coming up the next week, and so you won't have to look at me then. But like I said, when we'll talk about upcoming podcasts later. But another thing, I don't know, and I kind of missed this on the last one. The Evansville Thunderbolts brought out a new logo, and it's pretty cool. It's a plane, and if you know any of the history around there with the Thunderbolts and the actual plane, you'd understand. Unprofessional coughing on camera or on radio or wherever we're listening. You guys know what I'm talking about. But it's cool. It's cool to see new logos and stuff. They revamped a lot of things. They kind of rebranded themselves, and that's always cool to see. There. What else do we got for news? Let's see. Let me see. I did take a few notes. I usually don't take notes, but for this week, I knew the interview was going to be short, so I tried to take notes so I'd have something to tell you guys about other than that. But I guess that's really it. That's kind of the news right now. That's where we're at. like I said, I'm going to try. It's been, it wasn't a 3-month hiatus this time. It was only about a week and a half before I brought another episode out. And I'm going to try to push them out weekly again. That's my goal. Now that players are starting to sign, I know they're not all starting to travel to their teams yet. They're not getting, showing up in town just yet, but that's going to be right around the corner. I mean, training camp's starting. And so as soon as some of these players start funneling in and whatnot, I'm going to do that. And like I said, I'm going to try my best to get these other two head coaches, fresh new faces to the head coach in the SPHL. I'm doing my best to try to get them to come on. And so basically in the off season, as you guys know about, the only thing to talk about is, the little bit of news and that's about it. So if I can't get a guest, why would I waste your time? That's not what I'm about. It's just like spreading rumors. I don't want to spread rumors. I don't want to waste your time. So like I said, I'll do that. I'm going to try to get some players and leave me some feedback on this one. I want to know who you guys want to hear from. I know I do my best to throw this podcast in front of everybody's face possible, and I'm hoping you guys are listening to it. I've gotten, good feedback, bad feedback, no feedback, but I really want to know who you guys want to hear from. I want to know. Give me a player name. I mean, even if it's a past player, I've got a few people here that I have connections with that may have connections to a past player that hasn't played in a while. Maybe I can bring somebody on from a blast from the past, So just if you're, like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, comment, say, hey, I'd like to hear from such and such, or if I'm posting it on the socials, throw it on there. Be like, I'd really love to hear that. I really want to know who you guys want to listen to, because I mean, that's how I keep you guys going, right? That's how I keep this show going, is by doing what you guys want to hear, not what I want to hear. So like I said, let me know. Let's see who you guys want to hear from. And I'll do my best to bring some guests on and just make sure that they're SPHL guys, maybe, ECHL. I could probably reach up to there, but don't ask me to get, Nathan McKinnon, Sidney Crosby, Trevor Zegras, any of those guys, because I guarantee I'm not going to be able to touch that. I wouldn't even know where to begin to get a hold of those guys. But hey, if you guys have a way for me to get in touch with them, then, set me up and maybe I can get them to come on here. Other than that, it's got to be people, within this league. So I'm not going to waste any more time. That's it. Short podcast this week, only just a little over, 20 minutes. But yeah, that's it for this week. I'm going to try to bring you guys back bring back some guests, like I said, and that's it. Until next time.
You've been listening to the Inside the SPHL podcast. Got a topic you'd like discussed? Follow James on Twitter @FPHBulls. For the latest news on the SPHL and the rest of minor league hockey, download the Field Pass Hockey app, now available in the Apple and Android app stores.